Hey everybody, it is Rachel with Rachel Q Stitches and welcome to my channel. Today is Tuesday, September 21st, and this is FlossTube number 33. Thank you for joining me. If you're new here, this is a channel mainly about cross stitch. Very rarely would I mention any other crafts, but mostly it's cross stitch. So thank you for joining me. If you have an interest in cross stitch, if you are just learning and you have any questions, feel free to post them below and I'll answer it to the best of my ability. I wasn't here last week. We were supposed to have a tropical storm blow through. I think his name was Nicholas. He, landed at I think a category 1 and then breezed on by, and we were supposed to get where we were on the east of the storm. So we were supposed to get a lot of rain. We didn't get any rain. I think it rained more Tuesday night and Wednesday morning than it did all day Tuesday and Monday night. So we didn't get any rain and no flooding, thank God, no flooding. Flooding is, it's an issue here where we are. Obviously we live in a wetland, so it's gonna flood easy. And usually during this time of the year we get daily, pretty much daily rains. Maybe not daily, but at least several times a week. So anyway, no flooding, but my husband was home, so we were hunkered down and I did some stitching. And so I'm here to talk about 2 weeks worth of stitching now. I did start on, we'll get into stitching now, I guess. I started on A Mighty Fortress by Hearthstone Samplery. This is part of the Sunday Stitches. And I'm slowly working through each one. I got a new one in yesterday, day before yesterday. So I got this much done in 2 weeks time. This is stitched on a 32 count printed even weave from the 90s. And I have no idea what it's called, but I really, really like it. I don't think it's cotton. I think it's full-on polyester, but it has a good body to it. So this is what I've gotten done. I am using the DMC conversion that is provided. So really enjoying it. I'm enjoying these stitches, and hopefully, by this time next year, I'll be done with all of them. Hopefully, we will see. Anyway, so last week was the 15th, and so I worked on my Erica Michael stitch along that I am doing. So for Shelly at Proverbs 31:22 is the only one that I know of that's doing it with me. So we are working on this together. So I have the letter F done, and it is F standing for the 4-sided stitch, which you'll see right here and in the little cornerstones, and fox. And I did this time use the called for. I'm starting to pay a little more attention to their guides when it comes to colors. Probably should have done that with the others, but Anyway, so this is part of my stitch along. The hashtag is EMABCSAL. I'm enjoying these blocks. I think I have an idea what I'm going to do with them, but I'm still in the letter F, so I have a ways to go. But this is done on a 28 count even weave that I had in my stash. Not sure the color. I am using thrift store flosses, and I think most of these were J&P coats from the back in the day. So that's what I've done there. I'm gonna try to slow down. I'm going a little fast. We've had quite the weekend. Anyway, I did work on Flea Market Flower, and it's hard for me to remember because some of these I worked on 2 weeks ago. So I worked on Flea Market Flowers, and I am working on the blue flowers right now. I am choosing a color, and I am going with each, like working on the blue flowers. And I think I've finished them all. Except for the centers. Those will happen when I stitch that color flower. So here it is. This is done on I believe this is a 16 count Ada that I had in my stash. So there you go. There's my blue flowers. I'm looking at my chart. I think all I have left is yellow And then this center flower right here, which is in browns and reds, but instead of that, I am going to go with purple. Shelly at Proverbs 31:22 is also doing purple, and I believe she did hers, and they look really good. So I'm gonna do purples. Thought about on purple and gold. Might. Stay tuned. We'll see what happens. But there it is right there. So and I'm using DMC. I am using the call for DMCs in this particular chart. And this chart is by It's So Emma, Lori Holt of Be in My Bonnet, and can be purchased at the Fat Quarter Shop. All right. Stitchography. I worked on stitchography. And this is a downloadable chart at Fat Quarter Shop. And this is what it's going to look like. And of course, I did not, this needs to be finished by tomorrow to call it a complete and on time. I'm not going to be on time, but that's okay. I did really good staying with it. But then last week, just kind of, you know, a little hiccup in my plans. So this is what I have so far. This is done on 14 count Aida that I inherited from my mom. I'm using Cosmo threads. I bought the kit, so that's what came in the kit was the Cosmo threads. Not the kit, but the threads. It is charted in Cosmo, and I think there is a DMC conversion. I'm not sure, but this is what I've gotten done. So pretty good, not too bad, if I don't say so myself. So basically what I did was I went ahead and, you know, like I had some pink left, so I came down here and did the pink, and, you know, I did this green because I had just finished this. And so I'm right now, since I'm on the home stretch, I'm just choosing a color and going wherever that color is needed. But I really like it. I'm going to frame this and put it in my sewing room. So, stitching the letters. The letters are, you know, they're not so, they're solid color. They're not so labor intensive. They're easy for me to do. So, I enjoy them. Now, I do believe last week I told y'all that I was going to choose one of my 2 oldest whips to stitch on. Well, I was going to do each of them once a month. And so what I did was I sat down and I worked on Paula Vaughn Summer Breeze. I started this, the pattern came out in 91, and that's probably when I started it. And so I got some stuff done. So I basically, what I did was, when I showed it last week, I just worked on it one day. That's my goal, is to work on it one day. This little bouquet had not been started, and there were just spots all over it that did not, like all over the quilt, that, you know, there were 2 or 3 stitches missing, 2 or 3 stitches missing. And so I just basically spent all day filling in those stitches on the quilt. And so then finally I was able to start this right here, this little bouquet in the center of this one. I was able to finally start it. So that is my Paula Vaughn Summer Breeze. It was fun to work on. I have not stitched on linen in a long time. I don't know the count. I took the tape off. It had tape on it. I took the tape off and zigzagged around it so you can see where it's stained from the masking tape. So don't use masking tape. Zigzag if you can. So that is it right there. So Summer Breeze, it called for, let's see what it called for, because whatever it called for, I'm sure that is what I used. Cream Belfast linen in 32 count. So that's probably what I'm using. I did back then buy the called for, and so I'm pretty sure that's what I did. But it's exciting to be working on these old stitches, you know, to see them finally, after what, 30 years, finally get worked on, get some love. I'm gonna pause, y'all, because you probably saw me freaking out just a little bit there. I forgot 2 of my stitches, so I'm gonna be right back. I'm back. Okay, so here's what I have. I finally got my fabric in that has been taking the tour of Texas, and so I was able to start Christmas Garden by Blackbird Designs. It is in the Home for the Holidays book, and I am doing this with the Contented Stitcher. So I got my fabric in, and I started working top right, working left. I know that's an odd way to do it, but I stitch better if I stitch from right to left than left to right, which seems weird because we write left to right, but I stitch better right to left. Anyway, after starting it, I realized that if I did that, I would have a huge unusable gap of fabric on the left side. So I turned it, cut my fabric, and made what was the upper right corner, the lower right corner. So anyway, so this, hold on. You fold it. This is what I've gotten done. So this was supposed to be like this. Well, you know, flip this way. Anyway, it is now like this. So I did the border all the way up. I have room. I counted, I double counted, I triple counted. I made sure, and then I started working on the pink. So I'm going to kind of do the same. I'm going to work on the pink and see if there's any of this blended pink color right here. I am using, and look at me, y'all, took the label off. Yeah, I don't know. It's an even weave in mushroom, and I'm using the Call for DMCs, which is requiring me to blend, which I'm okay with. The blending's kind of fun. So I got that done. I was excited to finally get that done. It's my first big sampler in a while that I've done. You know, normally I do small samplers or 28 count mushroom lagana, you know. It's my first big one that I've done. I don't know what I'm saying, y'all. Y'all have to forgive me. I had a rough weekend. And so I'm just trying to get this done with a smile on my face. Can you tell what this is? City of Romance with my plastic spools of floss by Anchor. Looking for the cover sheet. There you go. City of Romance by Emma Congdon, otherwise known as Stitchrovia on Etsy. And I was working on this, and I had it draped over my stand. I have a little stand that holds my charts. I had it draped over, and my husband was like, "Oh, I really, really like the colors, the way they're coming through." So last time I showed you that I had made it to the end, all the way to the bottom, and that I had space. It didn't die. I didn't, you know, run out of room. So it did. And I counted and triple counted and double counted and started working my way up. So I had done this before. And when I decided to go across, so I worked my way up. And so I'm hoping this week to put a little bit into it. I may or may not. I haven't decided. There's some other things I want to get working on. But I think I might just spend at least one day putting some stitches in this. I really do love the colors. I really do. I love them. They're bright. They're bold. They're really, really pretty. I do love the Anchor floss still. I still don't like the bobbins. It takes up too much room. The spools, I should say. They're spools, not bobbins. I like bobbins. I don't like the spools. But anyway, so that is it. That is all I've gotten done. So our daughter moved out the house. This is what my hard weekend was. Our daughter moved out the house last week, week before last, and got all her stuff out. And then she and our son went on a trip to Chicago to work. It's a working trip. They do it every year, except in 2020. They do it every year. It helps pay for their tuition if they're in school, and if they're not in school, it's a big boost in income for them. I mean, you think, 20-year-olds who are working part-time jobs, it's a boost. And so they love it. They enjoy it. And so they both went, and I had to drive her to New Orleans at 5 o'clock in the morning for her flight to leave. And then somebody was supposed to be driving them back, and they ended up not being able to. And I didn't want to go because their flight was arriving at 8 o'clock. New Orleans is 3 hours away. It's not terrible, but, not something I want to be driving on a Friday night that late. Anyway, there's 2 bridges you have to cross that are long over expanses of water. And if there's a wreck, you basically sit. And so it's not somewhere I wanted to be late at night. I don't drive well at night. I have an astigmatism. I don't do well at night. So it's just kind of a stressful week. And then they came home and I cooked a gumbo, and she couldn't make it. She had to do her hair. She was taking her braids out, so she had to do that. But yeah, so I was just stressed all weekend. So hopefully, hopefully life will calm down soon and I can enjoy myself. But y'all excuse me. It was just a rough weekend. Very rough. But everything's fine. I did go to my thrift store, and they're still in the back of my car. I went to my favorite thrift store because I had this idea of what I want to do with my great-grandmother's crochet doilies. I have quite a few that she and her sister made that were given to me by my mom's second cousin. And my great-grandmother was married to a Picard. She was a Smith. She was married to a Picard. If you watch Star Trek, it's pronounced Picard, but we say Picard. And my mom's second cousin, her grandmother, so my mom's grandmother and Miss Faye's grandmother, their grandmothers were sisters who were married to brothers. So my grandmother always talked about her double first cousins. My great-grandfather passed away after 5 years of marriage. They had 2 children. My grandma was 2 when her dad died. And so these are doilies that my great-grandmother and her sister worked on together. A lot of crochet doilies, and also embroidered. Those embroidered tablecloths. They have a really cool one that fits on a card table. It's absolutely amazing. And then this right here, this quilt. Whoop. This quilt was made by the both of them. So I went to my thrift store looking for some frames for a project that I want to do, and I got a lot of frames, like a lot. They were 25 cents each, and a lot of them don't have glass, and I'm okay with that. That's no big deal. But they were really great frames. So hopefully I can get some of my stuff framed. I need to try my I can't think of what it's called, but the Make-A-Wish thing from Fat Quarter Shop. I need to see if I got a frame big enough for that. I got some odd size frames, so I'm kind of excited about that. So anyway, so that made my day. Going to my thrift store kind of made the weekend a little bit more bearable. But anyway, so, well, y'all, thank y'all for joining me. That's all I have today. No topic, nothing special to talk about. I do have a project that I'm starting, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it next week if I get some of it done. It is a family heirloom piece that I'm working on, and Stitching Mommy here on YouTube and Etsy charted it for me. And so I'm so excited about it, getting it started and working on it and getting it hung up. So I'm starting it as soon as I get this thing uploaded. I'll probably work on it as it's uploading. And then hopefully I can show you guys next week what it's beginning to look like. But I am so thrilled with it, and I can't wait to work on it. She did a wonderful job. great to communicate with. If you have anything that you want her to work on, her fabulous to work with, and the price was very reasonable. At least I thought it was. I mean, I pay that much for a single chart, so you know, she was very reasonable in her price, and she was fabulous to work with. So I can't wait to get started. I ordered fabric from 123 Stitch, and it actually made it here in 3 days, not in a week and a half. And so I'm ready to get started. So that's kind of exciting. But I will hopefully show that to y'all next week. Thank y'all for coming, and I will see y'all later. Bye.